is falling. The fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens. Seated next to Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, this one featuring a couple of playoff teams from a season ago, back at it again in 2019.
And we both felt the confidence from both of these teams, right? They feel like they will be back in the playoffs again, but they shouldn't be overconfident. 7 teams last year made the playoffs that didn't make it the previous year, so you're not assured of going back year after year.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Ready. Mark 54. Here we go, D. Get off the field.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now a 2-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7. Now Jackson. This is Riddick on the screen. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a first down.
A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. But he's going to take it. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Jakeem Grant, 81 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. Jackson looking to throw on third. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
Well, every now and then you just absolutely outguess yourself. 3rd and inches, and they decide not to run the ball. You end up seeing the end result.
The end result was not good. They elect to pass, and it backfires. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Looking to throw again on second down. Bridgewater, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. They could not contain Kenny Clark as he gets home for the sack.
Well, they had the right down and the definite distance to take a shot downfield, but it didn't work out the way that they had envisioned.
No, that's a situation where if you take a sack close to the line of scrimmage, it's not that bad, but a loss like that, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Kenny Clark, 2 plays in a row now that he has gotten in there for the sack, and it brings up 4th down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said at the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Patriots take over. Very good starting position for the Patriot offense as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. Now it's Jackson. He hits Riddick underneath. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Howard. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a 1st down. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. He'll take a shot for the end zone. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. They go play action with Jackson. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Janoris Jenkins. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A really nice gain of 25 yards. This quarterback now already over 100 yards passing in this 1st quarter. It's 1st and 10. Buying time to his left. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Bridgewater to throw it. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. It's John Simon with a sack. Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Third and long now after the sack, and we'll see if Bridgewater has a response.
58, right over there, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58, right there. Watch the curve.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And going deep for Hill. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill with touchdown number 20 on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to balance that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. And incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position, you have to be. You just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something wrong with the ball.
It is not you. Keep throwing. That timing usually develops.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
Oh, he shifts past him. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Time to take a glance into what we've seen so far from Teddy Bridgewater. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, it could really put them in command before intermission. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Patriots. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. On the ground, it's winning. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the 1st. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. New England on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 6. Here's Jackson. They'll set up the screen to Howard. And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Jordan Howard, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the second quarter.
And a lot of that is pride because these...
Taking it right down Broadway. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Tony Pollard with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Ravens are able to show off their quick strike ability. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now 21-7. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Jordan Howard and the rest of the offense heading back out there. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes, steady goes the offense. But you know what else is happening, too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Janoris Jenkins. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Out of the gun, Bridgewater. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Tony Pollard with his second touchdown here in this first half. As the Ravens push further out in front. Now, he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an...
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate.
Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Tony Pollard on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as the Ravens push further out in front. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. The first down screen pass, good for 5. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Throwing again on 2nd down. Jackson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 14 yards is the pickup there and a New England first down. Now it's Jackson. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Out to the flat for Riddick. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. To throw again is Jackson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. If you got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Here's Bradley Pinion now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. That's taking it around the 40.
Come on, fellas.
We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll start by heading out west to Glendale, Arizona. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. 17-13 was the final. From there, we fly east to Philly to check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And it was the visiting Chicago Bears who come away with the victory. Mitchell Trubisky leading the way there as the win gets his guys back to 500 on the year. And finally, on Monday Night Football, what a way to wrap up the first weekend of November. Cowboys and Giants from MetLife Stadium. In our game, it's Teddy Bridgewater with a standout first half. His 5 touchdown passes have him on a record pace. As for the call of the second half, we'll turn it back over to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be fielded at the 6. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we...
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Kenny Clark able to record his 5th sack of the season. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment.
And got his man complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his 21st touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Pats at the line ready to go. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. On 3rd down, Jackson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off at the 36. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
Steps away to his left. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down. To throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. It's caught by Davis. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. 22 yards there, a 1st down. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Vernon Davis. Touchdown number 15 of the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Well, defense will have to start doing something different because this guy's absolutely carving them up, especially down here in the red zone. He's been one of the top receiving tight ends here in the first half of the season.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Pats at the line ready to go. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil Mack, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Riddick with a carry. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Getting set to go again here, Teddy Bridgewater coming back onto the field. And nobody in the stadium feels better than he does right now. Just a slew of touchdown passes. He's been spectacular.
And you and I both know this is a team game, one of the best team games.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Tyreek Hill. Touchdown number 22 on the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point by Gay is up and good.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. The Pats at the line, ready to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on second down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good. And I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages towards him, trying their best to slow him down, and he keeps getting the better of things.
Yeah, whatever they've done, it hasn't worked. Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
Second down, Bridgewater. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And all the way down to the 29. A big play there on the catch and run. 56 yards. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Now Bridgewater. That's going to be caught. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That's good for 28 yards. To throw is Bridgewater. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this third quarter of play. Back now in Baltimore. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Second down and goal. Bridgewater. Trey Boston shot through on the safety blitz for the sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
58, boys, 58. Hey, come on, now, cut low.
Third and goal for Bridgewater. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Vernon Davis. His second TD of the game and 16th on the season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The Pats at the line, ready to go. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Jackson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. Now the ball comes loose, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. So second and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Dez Bryant, his first touchdown on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
I got you. I got you. Alert flag. Alert flag.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Man open, that's Deebo Samuel. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. To throw is Jackson. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Just not. Nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 13-yard line. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. From the red zone now, here's Jackson on first down. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
He finds Riddick, complete. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. Now, they couldn't get anything going there out on the right side of the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Tavecchio puts this one through, and they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. Now, this defense, they wouldn't mind not seeing him again for a while. 3 trips to the end zone. How about that?
I think right now they would happily go to their general manager and say, is there any way you could get a trade for him? Bring him over.
He's got a man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
I'm going to run you over.
From the gun, Bridgewater. He'll let this go for the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Jordan Lewis right there on the coverage. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Here's Bridgewater. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trey Boston. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, this D, particularly the secondary, has been picked apart at points here tonight. They finally, though, get to the quarterback, get a pick.
And we know this about him. He loves night games, loves the spotlight, loves being the center of attention. I will bet you that he ran off the field almost chuckling to himself. They finally got one. They finally got me.
That one good for 13 and a New England 1st down.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down.
Now Jackson on 1st down. The completion to Riddick. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Patriots with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 18 big yards on that one. And a New England 1st down. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. This is Riddick on the screen. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're either throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it up, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
Well, a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess. And this will be caught at the 30. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it.
And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And I don't know that fumble's going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point.
And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. After the sack here, 2nd and 11. Flush to him, and the pressure gets to him again. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. 3rd and long now after the sack, and we'll see if Bridgewater has a response. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Well, they probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Throwing here, Bridgewater. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. The Pats at the line, ready to go. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Ravens, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, it's just their 2nd loss so far to go along with their 7 wins. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
lovers, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple scoop